We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Wilton Manors is a finalist for the 2024 All-America City Award. Residents unite for a citywide video shoot celebrating community pride on April 25th.
DC's Rainbow History Project reenacts 1965's first gay rights protest at the White House, marking 59 years since the pivotal event, 4 years before the Stonewall riots.
Proposed bill in Congo seeks to criminalize LGBTQ+ individuals, attracting criticism from around the world. Will this be the first step to lead to tragic, life-threatening consequences for the queer community?
NBA referees don Emirates patches despite UAE's anti-LGBTQ+ laws. WNBA officials to follow too, including for gay and trans refs. Wait, what?
Legendary event returns to Wilton Drive and Manors Crystal Ballroom on May 15th. Dancing with the South Florida Stars benefits the Stonewall Pride Parade.
Good evening. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand. Available on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news for Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ+ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ+ community. Our mission? To support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students, youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
Let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Paul Thomas. He is currently a member of the LGBTQ+ Advisory Committee to the City of Miami Beach, on the board of directors for the Point Foundation, and on the endorsement committee for SAVE. Paul, it's always great to see you. Unity Coalition is hosting Elevate, a festival that celebrates diversity and inclusion for the LGBTQ+ community that has a theme of a day of being nicer on May 18th. Tell me what's happening.
Yes, it is nice to be here. It's nice to see everyone. So what I did was I texted Herb Sosa. He's the executive director of Unity Coalition. I'm like, Herb, tell me more because it sounds interesting.
Ooh, breaking news.
Yeah. So he said thank you to everyone who is talking about this event. He said it's a day of workshops, tools and inspiration for being nicer. He said they're going to do yoga and they're going to do painting and have different activities like that. He said, think summer camp for adults without the sleepover. And he said, just to remind everyone that there's free admission and free parking, lots of art, music, vendors, food, fun from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Wow, a day full of fabulousness.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun too. elevate.
It sure does. Let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro. Gregg's 9th book, Refrain in Light, was selected for the Poetry Mutual 10 Best Poetry Books of 2023. His iconic entertainment coverage, including celebrity interviews, runs in a variety of print and online publications, honey. Gregg Save is doing a Broward fundraiser called Glitter and Be Gay with music and storytelling from Lindsay Alley at the Island City stage on April 24th. Tell me what's happening.
Well, hopefully everyone knows about SAVE's mission to promote, protect, and defend equality for people in South Florida who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer via the organization's work fighting anti-LGBTQ+ issues, promoting efforts towards judicial diversity, and opposing conversion therapy, among other causes. What better way to support SAVE than attending this event starring entertaining, and I'm not kidding you, former Mouseketeer Lindsay Alley. How cool is that? Visit save.lgbt/Lindsay for more information.
Beautifully said. Let's welcome reality star and my new bestie, Sam Lantz. He was a finalist of Netflix's Squid Game, The Challenge. He is passionate about interior design, fashion, and advocacy for the LGBTQ+ community. He loves to go on adventures with his husband, Doug, hey Doug, and 2 adopted dogs, Duke and Moo. Sam, so good to meet you. Hunter's Nightclub is a legacy name here in Wilton Manors, so we were interested in our cousins at Hunter's in Palm Springs hosting the Red Light, Green Light on April 27th. Tell me what's happening.
Well, I've been really lucky to travel around the country and have these events and just kind of meet all of the fans and get to hang out. And I'm really excited to go to Palm Springs because I used to live there. So it's going to be like going home. I miss Palm Springs so much. So I'm really excited to hopefully see some friends that are still living there and just get to celebrate being gay and my little run on Netflix.
Yes, we celebrate being gay here every day.
Best.
And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, Eric Restivo. Eric is well known for DJing at some of the largest clubs in West Hollywood and has had residencies in LA, P-Town, New York City, and now Wilton Manors. He's the new television host of The W Boys, focusing on LGBTQ+ love or entertainment, broadcast Fridays and then on demand. Eric,
Yes.
the next Wilton Manors community sing-along brought to us by the Bears of South Florida and the Gay Men's Chorus South Florida will be on April 20th. Tell me what's happening.
I felt like this was a perfectly appropriate event for us to spotlight, especially since we just talked about Hunters Palm Springs. Now we get to spotlight Hunters Wilton Manors. Listen, these are 2 of the best organizations in South Florida, the Bears and the Gay Men's Chorus. So go and listen to some of your favorite movie musical playlists and different Broadway songs. It's going to be an afternoon of singing and fun and delicious brunch specials and plenty of alcohol to get you lubricated and ready to sing, honey. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ+ community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points for the queer news for Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. First, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. LGBTQ+ Wilton Manors becomes 2024 All-America City finalist. The city of Wilton Manors in Florida has been announced as a finalist for the prestigious 2024 All-America City Award, making it one of only 2 cities in the state to achieve this recognition. Scheduled for June, the city will compete against 20 others at a conference in Denver, Colorado. To showcase the community spirit and pride, Wilton Manors will host a citywide video shoot on April 25th. Put it in your planners. At the Rainbow Bridge, residents and visitors are encouraged to join the event and participate in filming a drone video demonstrating their love and pride for the island city. This nomination underscores the city's dedication to fostering a safe, sustainable, and inclusive environment for all. Since 1949, the National Civic League has organized a competition for municipalities nationwide, recognizing those that have demonstrated shared vision, civic engagement, inclusivity, inclusiveness and equity, collaboration, innovation, and impact in their communities. This year, the competition emphasized efforts to enhance democracy through local initiatives and innovations. Submissions, including that of the city of Wilton Manors, were evaluated based on the strength of their civic capital. This year, the city's submission emphasized 3 community-driven projects: the Safe Place program, led by the Wilton Manors Police Department, the city's sustainability program, and the revitalization of Wilton Drive, the central hub of the city's entertainment and arts district. Congratulations from Queer News Tonight and everyone at Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network. We have our fingers crossed for Wilton Manors. Wow, I totally got the good goosebumps reading this story. How incredible that we're one of 2 cities getting this recognition. Are we all going to the filming on April 25th? I will be there with bells on, and maybe like a little sports jock. Who knows? Yeah.
This is so thrilling. I feel like that Kristen Wiig character from SNL who's like easily overexcited.
For everything, right? Yeah.
I signed up this afternoon because you do have to register in advance.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know that. Okay.
It's really easy to do. Just go to bit.ly/RainbowBridgeRSVP and you're in, and then I think it's going to be really fun. It sounds like a good time.
Sounds like a lot of fun, and it's always good to be able to highlight where you live and have fun with it.
Be proud of where you live.
Be proud of where you live. Introduce it to other people. Anytime we can kind of have some fun and community, I think we should take advantage of. So I'm happy for the people of Wilton Manors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And to be such a largely populated gay city, to be recognized as an all-American city would be a huge just acknowledgement for us as a town, as a city. So
I wonder if there are other cities that have that kind of gay population that are in the finalists. It'd be interesting to see for the gayest of all.
It sure would be. Yeah, we should follow that story. We'll be back with that.
This is not a gay contest, right?
No, All-American City.
It's just an all-American city competition. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to queer up the USA View. First ever gay rights picket line at White House will be reenacted April 17th. On Wednesday, April 17th, DC's Rainbow History Project will host a reenactment commemorating the historic first protest for gay rights, which occurred on the same day in 1965. This picket line in front of the White House is credited with drawing attention to the federal government's discrimination against homosexuals. Organized by the Mattachine Society of Washington, D.C., founded by local gay rights pioneer Frank Kameny, the event marks the 59th anniversary of this pivotal moment. The reenactment aims to honor the activism of those who fought for LGBTQ+ rights. During the April 1965 event, picketers, including Kameny and prominent DC lesbian activist Lily Vincennes, insisted that the government adopt demands such as including ending the exclusion of homosexuals from federal government employment, lifting the ban on gays and lesbians in the U.S. military, the cessation of the blanket denial of security clearances for gay individuals, and an end to the government's refusal to engage with the LGBTQ+ community. This reenactment event will also pay tribute to Kameny, who passed away in 2011, and Vincennes, who passed away in 2023. Paul Kunstler, the sole surviving participant from the April 1965 White House picket, will join this week's reenactment. Kunstler will carry a replica of his original picket sign from the event. The reenactment picketing at the White House is scheduled to commence around 4:15 p.m. on April 17th, mirroring the timing of the 1965 event. Well, this is one of those things that for people who love queer history, as I do, this is as exciting as becoming part of that upcoming Wilma Bridge event. It's another piece of queer history being made, and I'm really grateful that significant folks from our LGBTQ+ history timeline are getting their due. I was thinking about Bayard Rustin, the Rustin movie, and then the Diana Nyad, both of which were on Netflix. So it's really great to see our history represented. And Frank Kameny is such an important figure in our history.
Right.
And if you want to learn more about him, it's my usual show and tell. I cannot recommend Eric Cervini's 2020 book, The Deviants' War, The Homosexual versus the United States of America Enough. Great book, and you'll learn a lot about what Kamini did for our community. Great book.
Yeah, you mentioned queer history, but I think it's American history. And I think we need to make sure that we're telling both sides of that story, and the fact that they had to actually go out and fight for these things because the American government was very comfortable at the time discriminating against us. I think it's especially important because our youth is very disconnected. And I'll date myself, but this is in my lifetime, right? This is not a long ago history. This is while he and I have been alive. And when I talk to young people and they say, well, I'm not interested in voting, or everybody just seems the same to me. I'm like, you have no idea. Well, you have no idea how bad it can get. Right? It can get worse than this. We've lived it, right? We lived it with AIDS when they didn't mind people dying. They weren't dying, and so it didn't matter, right?
They were glad that people were dying.
Right. And so this is fantastic. Anytime that we can highlight these things and make it part of the conversation and re-educate people, I think let's do it.
You completely took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that I think that there are a lot of, youth, LGBTQ plus forward youth that are just sort of too cool, almost is kind of the term, I think, when they're too cool to take the time to learn something, or it doesn't affect them directly, in their everyday activities. So, it's lost on them. So I think that this is extremely beneficial to, spread the word and educate, in a positive way.
Yeah, and we can't really move forward unless remembering where we came from.
Absolutely. And that that's kind of like the theme of today's show. We should repeat that a few more times.
Well, they just brought women back to 1864, right? With the stroke of a pen. They don't have to go that far back to totally decimate our community. On one hand, Wilton Manors is getting awards. On the other hand, it can no longer be a city.
We talk about steps forward and then steps back a lot here. We really do.
We're this little bastion stuck in this state that would love to just consume us and take us away.
And so we have to stand up like they did, right?
Absolutely.
And keep doing our part.
Get your picket signs.
Fantastic. Next, let's queer up the worldview. Is the Congo next in queer death sentence Africa? A member of the Democratic Republic of Congo's National Assembly, Constant Mutamba, who leads the Dynamic Progressive Revolutionary Opposition Platform, has proposed a bill aimed at criminalizing LGBTQ plus individuals. We were just talking about this. According to the bill, anyone engaging in homosexual acts, including gestures, could face a prison sentence ranging from 5 to 10 years. This move reflects a concerning trend in the country where government officials and civil society have increasingly targeted the LGBTQ plus community with anti-LGBTQ plus sentiments. Last June, the Superior Council for Audiovisual and Communication, the Media Regulatory Authority, advised the media to refrain from airing LGBTQ plus specific discussions, which is why we're here on Happening Out TV. Mutamba's bill has faced criticism from activists who argue it deflects attention from critical issues like governance and service delivery. However, there are a considerable number of Congolese citizens who endorsed the bill and have commended Mutamba for it. This isn't the first time such legislation is being proposed. Back in 2010, an anti-homosexuality bill was introduced suggesting sentences of 3 to 5 years in prison for individuals involved in consensual same-sex activities. However, the bill failed to pass in 2010. If the new bill gets passed, it could have major consequences for the LGBTQ plus individuals in the Democratic Republic of Congo, raising alarms among human rights advocates both locally and internationally. LGBTQ plus activists express fear that this is the first step in the slippery slopes of an anti-LGBTQ plus legislation seen in Kenya, Nigeria, and other African countries that have even included a death penalty for homosexual acts. And when I read this story, I did a little research, and when I looked at the continent of Africa, and anti-LGBTQ legislation. The majority of the continent of Africa has that type of legislation, or they just have the death penalty in almost 10 countries. We have a long way to go with Africa, and as we move into this global society, you know, Africa will be like the most populous continent, and it's going to be a world leader very, very soon with AI. We have to figure out a way to get in there and not allow the United Nations, whatever governing bodies we have to really step up and start to get involved in these things that are going on in Africa. And we really have to pull them into our time, which is perilous as it is, right?
Yeah.
We have plenty of anti-LGBTQ legislation right here in Florida, but somehow we have to.
Right now too,
There's a phrase about reaching out and pulling community in.
Right.
And right now we have to be, maybe our LGBTQ organizations need to start contacting people over there and reach out and start to pull them in, let them know they're not alone. This is not acceptable. We have to change this as fast as possible. We don't have room.
There was
No, please go ahead.
Well, there's the rescue of those people in Chechnya. Remember how they brought them to the States. They brought them to places where they could be safe. I think it's also important not to overlook this part of the story that says, quote, Mutomba's bill has faced criticism from activists who argue it deflects attention from critical issues like governance and service delivery, end quote. Once again, queer people are being used as a distraction. They're distracting.
So oddly familiar.
Right, for more pressing and critical situations because they can't fix them, so they're turning on us.
To get more attention, to get news clips, to get... It's just disgusting. The diversion tactic.
The diversion tactic, but I've spoken to many journalists from over there and in other work that I do, and they say, like, you know, these missionaries, so like, who are these churches? They come over here, and before you know it, the things that they believe become law. And they come with money, or they come with the promise of education. We'll build you a school, but you have to learn what we want you to teach. This has happened before in history. We know this doesn't work. Well, nothing good comes out of this type of thing, right?
It's enforced ignorance. Just and it happens all over the world. Just people are kept ignorant so that they are kept in place.
And then it becomes dangerous.
It's so dangerous.
I often like to bring attention to what we could do, like right now, right here, tonight, to shed more awareness and light to this story. And it's really simple. Share this feed. You know, throw it in all of the gay groups you're a part of, on Facebook, on Reddit, on all of the Instagram platforms. There are a million now. So I think that that's really, really important that we are getting this out.
I agree. I love that idea. You know, there's a friend of mine, he used to be the United Nations liaison to LGBTQ, Fabrice Hudart. There is a position in the United Nations of someone who handles these international things. Maybe if you're at home and you're part of an LGBTQ organization locally, you want to reach out to the person who's in that place and just offer your support, or offer to, I don't know, do we have to write letters? Do we have to do petitions? Like, whatever we can do while we're fighting our own fight here, because believe it or not, they still look for us to lead, because we do have a city like Wilton Manors. We do have a haven,
West Hollywood,
and so we have gotten that far, right? And so,
sorry,
it's okay. Don't apologize.
It's so easy to think that it doesn't affect us because it's not here, it's not now. But you know, things like that happen far away, it signals to other people that, oh, it doesn't matter. We can do that here too. We can, you know, test the water somewhere else and then implement it.
That's right.
Closer to home. And it's just, it emboldens people. And we need to speak up. We need to say things. We need to show our support. Even just this story. And like you said, sharing this and letting people know, it's just terrifying.
It is terrifying. But again, Gregg, you spotlighted the positive part of the story, so I'm going to live there. I'm going to live in the positive with this, but I do encourage you to share this everywhere.
Next up, let's queer up sports. NBA requires anti-gay government's airline logo on gay and trans referee uniforms. Wait, what? The NBA referees have to wear multiple patches promoting Emirates on their uniforms during games since the All-Star break. Reportedly, Emirates and the NBA inked a deal in February designating the airline as the official global carrier of both the NBA and the WNBA. Notably, both leagues have a storied history of advocating for LGBTQ+ inclusion, which is conveniently being ignored here. The Emirates is owned by the government of Dubai, which forms part of the United Arab Emirates. Dubai and the UAE have stringent laws against homosexuality, and it is a country where same-sex marriage and transitioning genders are banned, and homosexuality can lead to imprisonment or worse. There are no adoption rights or anti-discrimination laws for LGBTQ+ individuals. Despite this, the NBA has not only entered into a deal with this government, but has also prominently displayed their logo on the chests and sleeves of their referees. Among the NBA officials required to wear these patches are two individuals who are openly gay and/or transgender, Bill Kennedy and Che Flores. Furthermore, officials in the WNBA will also have to wear these patches beginning next year. It's important to note that the WNBA boasts numerous openly LGBTQ+ coaches and players. A renowned sports commentator and author, Sid Ziegler from Outsports, broke this news. I don't understand why, and this goes back to the other story. It's just, if we allow this to happen, it'll happen everywhere. And it just seems like money can buy anybody's ignorance, or just, okay, they can just slide on in because they're like, here's, X amount of money, just pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. And it's just, what is going on? It's another thing of the people that are in charge of this, they don't see how it affects them, and they don't care. It's just not seeing past the end of your own nose to see how it affects the rest of the world.
It's wild.
The one thing that I did think of, though, sports, as a rule, has often been used to help move society forward. Mm-hmm. Sports is I actually teach a course at Barry University. Sports has historically been used to help more recently, women's equity, right? Women soccer players now make through the game of sport, we were able to talk about this idea of equal pay. My hope is, and I don't know because I don't know anything about these NBA people who made this decision. Mm-hmm. My hope is that because the LGBTQ individuals agreed to wear this, that there is this idea of we're going to go and we're going to stand in that space and we're going to be out in this country where you can't be out, and we're going to be good at our jobs, and we're going to be there with our spouses, and we're going to be that and show them that this can be done. My hope is, in reading this story, that the sport is being used to move society forward and to actually bring those laws about in that area.
It's a good hope.
When it comes to that part of the world, they throw their money around, and I know that there are some, the woman who's the chess champion, she's refused to go over there and play. That's where the next door. She's given up millions of dollars. She's like, I'm not going to go into a country that I can't be. They said I have to cover my head and my body, and I have to be walked around outside by a man. She's like, I'm not going. I'm hoping in this story that the NBA is doing the right thing and they're not just going for a quick buck, because those guys have enough money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
they're selling out our community for like what, more billions?
Millions, right? Are you going to tell me?
I have a pessimistic approach to it, but
Are you going to tell me that Emirates Airlines doesn't have any gay
out of
flight
all
attendants?
the airlines,
There are no gay flight attendants? Seriously? Seriously? Oh my God.
Right. Yeah.
It feels kind of, I'm so sorry to be completely opposite of how you feel.
No, that's fine.
But I feel like it's more of like a major step back. It kind of feels like a scarlet letter to me. I don't know. It feels more like segregating the LGBTQ plus community from the straight community of sports. It feels like a direction in taking transgender athletes out of category. I think that it can only get worse. I have no hope. But that's just because when I think Dubai and Emirates and all of that, I actually try to think right now, because although that was funny, they have a lot of like TikTok videos with Emirates. They're a major account because people fly Emirates like nuts. I don't think I have ever seen even a male flight attendant in any of the videos. Like they're all these like beautiful female flight attendants, but now I'm gonna like do some homework and go back and go to that account and see if I see any.
Maybe some of them are lesbians.
Right.
Maybe,
Well,
but I feel like they put up such like a picture of what they want, a facade of what they want, you know. And I encourage you to look into it a little bit. It's kind of a crazy world, the Emirates like first class behind the scenes.
It is.
It's kind of wild.
I know that the tennis.
Yeah.
I know the tennis has recently agreed to go there, and I was reading an article last week.
To go with the.
No, to go over there to that area, and that, but that they had a long conversation that gay people will be able to be out. Chris Evert and other high-level tennis professionals had a long conversation and said, when we get there, we're not going back into your law. Like we're going to be showing up with our partners and we're going to be, and they had to agree to those conditions before tennis would agree to go. So that's why I'm
NBA will do the same.
Well, that's why I'm hoping because the gay people are agreeing to wear it and not going. I'm not going.
Are they agreeing?
They have no choice. Right?
Yeah, they have no choice.
It's so on.
Everybody has a choice when it comes to something like
they'll
that.
lose their job,
right?
And to lose a peak job like that is a big impact. And
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to look more. We'll have to keep our eye on it.
Yeah, I mean, on the positive side, the WNBA actually is garnering more views now because their players are so phenomenal that more and more people are doing it.
Watching them.
And it's actually garnering more views than some actual NBA games.
Yeah.
So it's really impressive. So there is movement forward there.
Absolutely.
It's just, it feels like this Emirates patch is telling the LGBTQ plus members of that NBA and WNBA community that they don't matter.
Agreed.
And it's like, we'll take this money, even though we're saying you matter to us, but this money matters more than how we show you how we feel about you.
I'm hoping that's not the case.
I hope that's not the case too, but I'm pessimistic.
We are all hopeful that's not the case.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers, toes, everything crossed. Next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Here is everything you need to know about LGBTQ plus dancing with the South Florida Stars on May 15th. On May 15th, a legendary event will return to the famous Wilton Drive and the Manors Crystal Ballroom. Modeled after ABC's competition show, an LGBTQ plus version called Dancing with the South Florida Stars, and the show plans to be a star-studded experience. The event is presented by famed LGBTQ plus publisher Bobby Blair, who brings the dancing back as a fundraiser to support the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival being held on June 15th. The exciting production show will be hosted by the legendary Poison Ivy, and the W Boys host, well, me, honey. Just like every gala entertainment event, I will also be hosting and covering the red carpet. Major entertainment features include a Trailblazers production number celebrating the who's who that built the South Florida LGBTQ plus community. Another major production will focus on a memory lane of the best of Broadway. An anticipated highlight includes a Dreamgirls production number to celebrate the memory of Deja Devanir. Judges for the competition include luminaries like Gary Santis, Robbie Leslie, Alan Beck, Debbie Burke, and Hotspots Happening Out's Al Ferguson. Of course, the highlight of the dinner show and competition is an estimated 8 to 10 celebrity couples that have come together especially for this competition. Queer News Tonight can report a strong rumor, not confirmed by any official source, but we think we got it right. The rumor is that one of the celebrity dance couples is none other than one of South Florida's most popular drag queens, Velvet Lenore. Her partner is none other than the executive director of the extremely popular Sunserve, Tony Lima. If true, and we think it is an indication of the amazing lineup coming for Dancing with the South Florida Stars. When Queer News Tonight reached out to the sources, we got a resounding no comment. Official announcement of all of the dancing teams that have been formed will be placed on Thursday, April 25th, and we cannot wait. You don't want to miss this very unique and fabulous entertainment event that helps support Wilton Manor Stonewall Pride Parade and June Pride Month. You can get more information and purchase a very limited number of tickets at hotspots.click/stars. That's FAL stars. Well, this will be my first Dancing with the South Florida Stars competition. It'll also be only like one of 3 times I've ever been to the Manors, which is such a beautiful, is it the Manors that they transform into a beautiful ballroom. So I'm very excited to interview you all before your performance, and then I'll also be interviewing you when you're hot and sweaty and out of breath after. So that'll be the more entertaining interview, and I'll probably play some red carpet games. But listen, it's a great event to raise money for Stonewall Pride. Anything that raises money for an event that I DJ at every year is good in my book.
Raise money for yourself.
Raise money for the event that I work, yes. So I know that I'll definitely get paid. No, just kidding. We'll definitely get paid.
It's always good to pay.
Yes.
Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm curious who the other dancers are going to be.
Stay tuned Thursday next week.
I live in the other county. I'd drive up if Gregg agreed to be my partner.
Now, Gregg would be one of those celebrities I would love to see on the dance floor.
You want me to dance?
To dance.
What's that line? I don't dance.
Don't make me dance. So, I feel like we can't put baby in a corner, though.
This is a round table. There's no corners.
Exactly. Touche.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finish tonight's queer news headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up trans rights. Ben Affleck's child reveals transgender transition at family funeral. During a memorial service at Christ Church United Methodist in Charleston, West Virginia, the child of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner introduced a new name and revealed their gender. The trans child announced, quote, "Hello, my name is Finn Affleck," end quote, from the church lectern, before proceeding to read from the Book of Proverbs. In February, paparazzi snapped photos of the teenager as Garner hugged them at a school bus stop in Los Angeles. The teen carried a backpack embroidered with the name Finn. The gender revelation during the memorial service elicited diverse reactions online.
LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up trans rights. The internet is losing their shit over this stunning and sexy trans guy. Jersey's Saint Wilson, also known as Saint Laurent, a transgender man based in Los Angeles, has garnered widespread attention after a video of him participating in a trans man realness competition resurfaced. The competition took place during the main attraction Arcade Ball, an event themed around video games and drag last year. Drag balls are an important part of underground queer subculture and pioneered by Black, trans, and queer individuals. A Twitter user who reshared the video of Wilson on Twitter with the caption, "Did y'all know Tommy Davidson had a trans son? He's gorgeous," has amassed over 3,000 retweets and garnered over 2 million views.
LGBTQ+, 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Will Skynet destroy us as Grindr plans to introduce AI boyfriends to Sext with you? The Terminator introduced us to AI in the end of the world. Grindr, the popular dating app known for its focus on hookups, is set to undergo a significant transformation with the introduction of artificial intelligence features. In a recent announcement, the app revealed plans to shift towards long-term dating, travel, and professional networking. At the same time, Grindr also plans to introduce AI wingmen to assist users. According to reports, the app is considering the development of AI boyfriends that can engage in sexually explicit conversations with users. But some users fear that the AI boyfriend might turn into Skynet for gay dating culture by exploiting data and destroying privacy.
LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up lesbian culture. Lesbian poet and artist Etel Adnan celebrated by Google Doodle. Lesbian poet and artist Etel Adnan was celebrated yesterday with a Google Doodle honoring her life and achievements. The doodle featured an illustration of the American Lebanese creator surrounded by colorful paintings. April 15th marked the date of Adnan's first solo exhibition in San Rafael, California in 1955. Born in Beirut, Lebanon in 1925 to a Greek Orthodox mother and a Sunni Muslim Turkish father, Adnan grew up bilingual in Greek and Turkish. Later studying in French and English, Adnan openly embraced her identity as a lesbian and shared her life with partner Simone Fattal until her passing.
LGBTQ+, 1 Minute News, let's queer up drag culture. Drama unfolds as drag show at the Annoyance Theater and Bar turns into real-life thriller. In a shocking turn of events, a routine drag show at the Annoyance Theater and Bar in Chicago transformed into a scene straight out of a Hollywood thriller. As drag queen Dairy Queen geared up to dazzle the audience with The Devil Went Down to Georgia, chaos erupted out of nowhere. Caught on video, the spectacle unfolded as 6 masked robbers barged in, fresh from a neighboring store heist. Amidst the mayhem, 2 police officers stormed the scene, guns drawn. Displaying remarkable presence of mind, Dairy and the bar staff swiftly evacuated patrons to safety.
That is today's news for the LGBTQ+ community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ+ evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ+ news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ+ digital television news show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ+ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Eric Restivo, and on behalf of these LGBTQ+ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Paul Thomas, Gregg Shapiro, and Sam Lantz, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ+ world. We wish you good night.
Good night.